As per requested by username Cleopatra Girl with a GR1 for girl, she wanted me to show a video tutorial on how to make JPL 3-in-1 or Jen's pinned linkage 3-in-1. Now, you saw this in the other video, this little chain made out of sterling silver rings. However, for the sake of the video, I'm going to use a little bigger rings, about this size rings instead. These are 2mm in diameter and 22 gauge. I'm going to be using 16 gauge 3/16 inner diameter. And I already have the rings cut right here. I'm just going to use 9 rings right now, just to show you the beginning of what a chain like this would look like. This is JPL 3-in-1 as well. It's pinned linkage is it's basically just a spiral chain with a really low aspect ratio, which means the thickness of the ring is really close to the diameter of the ring. So the diameter of the ring in this case is 3 times the diameter of the wire, because for JPL 3-in-1 you want an AR of 3, an aspect ratio of 3. And the aspect ratio varies because you can make different kinds of JPL chains. You can make JPL 5-in-1 by making rings that are 5 aspect ratio, or a little bit smaller than that, because for JPL 3-in-1 you can actually go between 2.8 and about 3.5 or 3.4. But like I said, these are 3 exactly, and they wind up making a chain just like this. So I'm going to show you how to do that. The first thing you want to do is you want to open all of the rings except for one. You want to close one ring to start with. And basically what you want to do is you want to start making a spiral chain. To make a spiral chain, you start out by making a Mobius. And from the Mobius, and to make a Mobius, you take one ring and you loop one ring through it. And then you loop another ring through the 2 first rings, and then and so on and so forth. And every time you add another ring, you loop it through every other ring that was before it. But anyway, for like a basic 3-in-1 chain, you want to, or 4-in-1, notice the 3-in-1 spiral chain, you want to make a 3-ring Mobius, so one ring and then another ring and then another ring, and then you want to put another ring through the last 2 that you added, and then you just keep doing that over and over and over again. You keep adding one ring through the last 2. Okay, so you take the first ring and you loop a ring through it. Just like this. And then you close it. Then you take the rings and you lay them flat. Then you take another ring and loop it through both of them, like that. And close it. And now you have a simple 3-ring Mobius, just like that. The next step is to take the Mobius and grab one ring and hold the other 2 out in front of you like this. And then you're going to take another ring and you're going to loop it through this hole, making sure that the ring stays beneath this first ring. So we take a ring, loop it through, and at this point the chain isn't going to be tight enough to hold its shape, but after you get the first 6 rings put together, it should all just sort of stay in its place, because with a normal spiral chain the rings shift a lot. So you want to make sure that these rings stay. Hold on a second. You want to keep it like this. You want the first ring to be on top of the second ring. Now what you're going to do is you're going to rotate the chain, and now you want to put a ring through the last two and make it go underneath this ring that's now flat, the next ring from the beginning of the chain. So you take another ring, loop it through the last two, making sure to keep it beneath the second ring, and close it. Okay, so now you should have the first and second, or the first and fourth ring stacked, and then you also have the second and fifth ring stacked, like that. Now you're going to rotate it again and add one to go through the last two again and underneath the third ring. So like this, you take another ring, just your basic spiral pattern with a twist. Put that through and then close it. And with this sixth ring, it will lock the chain into its shape. So now I can actually set the ring, or set the chain down, and it'll keep its shape. As you can see, the first ring and the fourth ring are stacked on top of each other, like that. And then when you rotate the chain, you can see that the second and the fourth ring are stacked on top of each other. And then rotate it again, the third and the sixth ring are stacked on top of each other. Now you want to keep going that way, but the thing is, when you turn the chain again to put the next ring in, you actually have to you actually see, because what you're going to do is you're going to try and watch the pattern, like the way this pattern is going. You can see that the rings are stacking, and they go, as you add, you look 2 rings back and just copy the pattern from what it was before. You keep adding onto it, and the next ring you add, you make sure that it's stacking the right way, because when I have the chain facing this way, it looks like the rings are stacking downwards beneath each other as the chain goes. But when I flip the chain over, it looks like they're stacked on top of each other as it goes. This is just the way the chain looks. So when you're rotating the chain around and stuff, instead of trying to keep track of whether you're going above or beneath the pattern, or beneath the ring that you're going 3 rings ahead of, just watch the pattern as you're going, and you can see how the rings are supposed to be oriented. So I'm going to add 3 more rings now. I'm going to add those last 3, just so you can see a little bit more of the chain. So now I'm stacking on top, like that. And you can flip the chain over to get back to the way it was, where you were going on top of or beneath the rings, however you feel comfortable with remembering the pattern. Like for instance, right now the ring isn't going through quite the way I want it to, so I'll flip the chain over and try it again. Sometimes when it's hard to get one ring through, it's easier if you flip the chain over and do it the opposite way. So now you've got 9 rings right there of JPL. Continue the pattern out, and it'll eventually look like this.